How do we bring up Porcupine's penis size, all the P's, and the Poters? Porcupine, penis size, and Poters.
Is that the title of this episode?
That's the title. We just came up with the title.
Everyone's going to be searching for that. Welcome to Sex Talk with my mom. I'm Cam Poter.
And I'm KarenLee Poter.
My mother is a self-proclaimed sex expert and cougar.
And that sounds more like a cat. Anyway, my son is a self-proclaimed stand-up comic, mime, clown, and generally good egg.
Thank you, Mother.
Especially today, since he's got a bit of a head cold and he's pushing through it.
My mother is a slave driver. She doesn't let me one day off. I was like, no, we're not going to record today. She insists we're recording.
Ain't no rest for the wicked.
Okay, the whole purpose of this podcast, by the way, is because sex is in a very strange place in our culture. I think it always has been, but especially today, it's coming up in the news, it's coming up in my social circles, and we're having these conversations to figure out where it's supposed to fit into our lives.
Yes, and also to open the dialogue because too many people are constrained about it.
And today's episode is all about emotional intimacy.
I like this episode. This is a good call.
We haven't done the episode yet. How do you know it's a good episode? This could be the worst episode we've ever done.
I said I like the idea of the episode.
The topic of the episode?
Topic of the episode.
Before we jump into this topic, I want to thank our newest patrons.
Yes, it's amazing. We have all of a sudden, I don't know what happened. Maybe it's me nagging you every week.
Yeah, I think that might have something to do with it.
But whatever it is, we are so appreciative that we have now more patrons than we've ever had. We've got 5.
We have 5. And for anyone who's just tuning in or doesn't know what Patreon is...
What the heck is Patreon?
Patreon is a place where you can support your favorite artists.
It's like a Kickstarter program.
You like that I called you an artist?
Well, we are artists.
Okay, I just wanted you to be aware that I called
We're
you
performing artists.
Performing artists, and that's where you go to patreon.com/sextalkwithmymom and support our show. I'm telling you, when we found these 2 extra patrons, Hannah and Zach.
Thank you, Hannah and Zach.
Hannah and Zach, when we got the emails saying that you guys have subscribed to be patrons, first what happens is that my heart starts fluttering, and I'm like, oh my God, there are humans out there that want this show to continue on.
And want to support you monetarily and emotionally.
And then within seconds, I get a call from my mother. Oh my God, we have another patron. Have you seen it? We have another patron. I'm like, Mom,
calm down,
cool it.
Yeah.
I'm aware.
But it does make not only our day, but possibly our week.
It does. I mean, this is very, very exciting to us.
Okay, so how do you do it? How do they join Patreon?
You go to Patreon, patreon.com/sextalkwithmymom. That's in the show notes. And you sign up, and by signing up, you will get exclusive content, bonus material that you couldn't get just by subscribing to this iTunes podcast.
Right. It is a great way to connect to us, too, because we can message you confidentially back and forth on any questions that you have. And
that's going to be the first place where we drop our web series pilot, which we are almost finishing editing on.
And it's so exciting. So you definitely want to get involved, and you can do it for a very small fee if your budget is limited. As little as $5 a month, you can become a Patreon member. $5, I'm sure you've spent more frivolously than that.
On to the show.
On to our new show.
I had an experience recently where
I love when you have experiences.
I met someone who I was attracted to. I was on I don't know if we were gonna click necessarily emotionally, but I was like, I'm physically attracted to the person. I'm having a good time with this person.
Where were you when you met this person?
Friends of friends introduced us.
Okay, you were at a bar, a restaurant, where were you disco dancing? Where were you?
We were at a friend's house.
Okay, so you met this girl.
And I'm like, and then I found, my next thought was, oh God, I don't think this is gonna work out.
It's a very positive way.
It was not, and the reason being was that I was like, I'm not in a place right now where I can really date anyone because financially I feel very unstable. That is a big problem. For those just tuning in, I'm currently unemployed.
That's not true.
No. So basically, I'm unemployed. However, I'm starting a business.
That's what's exciting.
I'm uniting all the sex podcasters out there. and I'm finding us advertisements because the brands need access to us and we need access to the brands, and listeners need access to knowing what good shit is out there. But when your podcast is not enormous like the top 10, it's very hard to do it alone. So I'm uniting everyone so we can make a whole freaking coalition collective out of it.
I am so proud of this.
Thank you, Mother.
And I think you're using all the skills that you learned at Stanford University.
Thank you, Mother.
But more importantly, it's something you can say that you started your own, you know, on your own. You're an entrepreneur. I'm very excited about it for you.
Thank you, Mother.
I'm glad that you're seizing the bull by the balls and doing it. Is that a quote?
Yes, bull by the balls is definitely the terminology that I would use for that.
Uh-huh.
Okay, but anyway, the point being that I saw that thought come through. Oh God, I don't have the money right now to really date this person. That's not
it's not. That's to me. That's not even the issue. The issue is that men see their worth by their financial and career success, and therefore, if that's the case, your self-esteem is lowered. It's not really that you don't have money as much as your self-esteem.
And that's what's amazing. I still think of myself with high self-esteem. I don't hate myself, which is great. However, I think of all the challenges that, you know, dating kind of costs money.
It does, but it doesn't.
Yeah, it does.
No,
it
does.
does.
No, I'm telling you that
you can go on free dates and go to parks and shit like that. That's fair.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying that you can. I mean, when I met Deez, he was actually for a long time. It's been, you know, we just kind of pay for our own stuff because
and you go Dutch. You split.
We do a lot of Dutch stuff, and we do
Dutch stuff.
We do a lot of stuff that is free, which is there's a lot of free things out there. But the truth of the matter is that I had to be in a mental place that I'd be okay with not having somebody support me, and a lot of young people don't want that. They want to know that the person that they're with eventually will be able to support them so that they can have a family, and so they traditionally think of the guy as the breadwinner, the girl's going to be the one taking care of the kids.
Right.
Not to say that the girl wouldn't be working, but the traditional model of it is changing, obviously, but it's still one that the guy feels like financially they have to support.
But the issue is not that I don't think so that's where the self-esteem comes in. I think I'm a catch. In the long term, I'm a catch.
You're a catch now.
I'm a catch. In the long, but what I'm saying is that, like, when you're starting to date someone, you're just getting to know each other. They're not aware of all the good things and the bad things that you have. They just see, like, oh, this is a guy who doesn't have a fucking job right now. And it becomes very uncomfortable when you're like, yeah, can we split? That's a fucking uncomfortable question.
I think it's a mental thing on your part. Because society is telling you that you should be paying for her. No one's telling you that you should be paying for her.
I think part of me was reading her being like, I imagine she's going to want me paying for her.
Well, then you don't want to be with that girl.
Well, maybe not. But maybe, I don't know. I think you always said you pay for the first date, you pay.
I know, but that first date does not have to be that exorbitant. It can be a drink.
And then the second day we split.
Second date you split. I mean,
yeah, I can afford one date.
If you were working, you know, in a consulting company or, you know, someplace that you got made a shit ton of money, then of course you'd pay for the dates.
For all our listeners, I used to work at a management consulting company and did earn a shit ton of money before becoming a clown.
That's every mother's nightmare. But I actually was very proud of you for leaving something that you were unhappy with and going off and doing what your passion is. And I think that eventually the passion will become something successful that you can be proud of and also enjoy doing at the same time.
I thought to myself that it's very interesting. I think a lot of people also view their weight in the same way that I viewed.
Yeah, you don't have a weight issue.
My financial resources being like, you know what I'm saying? Right. Like a lot of people go out and they don't think they might have money, but then they think, oh, you know, this guy or this girl doesn't like my body.
Yeah.
Let's wait till I lose 20 pounds and then we can go on a date.
There's two ways of looking at it. One is that you should wait till you get your shit together. Like, wait till you feel financially set or successful. I shouldn't even say financially set, but successful in whatever you want and your endeavors are. And the second part is, do you feel good physically and mentally? Are you mental is just as important as physical. Are you in a mental state? What if you're in a state of depression and you need to be working on that? Or what if you're just in a state of flux and you just don't feel like you emotionally have the bandwidth to give to anybody else? I mean, there's a lot of reasons that you might not be ready to date.
So wouldn't you say that right now I'm not in a position where I'm ready to date?
I think mentally, I don't think you can handle anything else. I think you're ready to snap.
So mentally, yeah, thank you. So mentally, I'm not ready, but you think it's not because of the financial reasons?
I'm sure that ties into it because you were raised in a traditional family, but I think...
This is a traditional family?
That is a good one. Yeah, I guess it wouldn't be like the white picket fence, Leave It to Beaver family. But the point is that I think right now you're already stressed because you have so much on your plate. Like,
so that's definitely a reason. Yeah, there's definitely a reason why I wouldn't date otherwise.
Right.
But the other thing I was thinking, you asked me earlier, what was the question you asked me? What's my problem with women? Is that how you...
Well, I asked all my YouTubers what their biggest problem was with women. And then I asked you.
It's a foolish question.
Why is it foolish?
Because first of all, it's phrased like, why don't you like women?
No, I meant like, what is your biggest problem? I didn't phrase it that way. I actually said, what is your biggest problem when it comes to women? Like, not really what's wrong with women, but what's your biggest problem in terms of dating or being in a relationship with women?
Right, so what's preventing these guys from being in a relationship?
Yeah.
And I think for me, it is this idea of now wanting to enmesh myself or not wanting to get entangled with someone who I really don't trust or I really don't see a future with. Because there's a lot of emotional damage that can take place if you guys don't get along. If one of you likes each other more than the other and vice versa. Which brings us to Cam's Corner.
Cam's Corner. We're talking about porcupines.
We're talking about porcupines.
Or do hedgehogs?
Hedgehogs. It's called the Hedgehog Dilemma. By the way, Cam's Corner is a new feature that just started
today.
10 seconds ago when I said Cam's Corner. Where I will bring in something.
Is there like a little song that we should put on first?
Do 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 do. Cam's Corner.
Oh, okay. Okay. I like that. Okay.
Okay. So my friend told me.
Is that like Ninja Turtle song?
I don't know.
Ninja Turtles? You used to love Ninja Turtles.
I know, I can't remember the theme song right now. People are probably screaming in their car this theme song. Why don't you know that, Cam? Anyway, the Hedgehog Dilemma. This is a philosophy brought up by a story that Schopenhauer, who's a famous philosopher, told, and then Sigmund Freud, went on to talk about as well in his psychology. So basically, here's the deal with hedgehogs. He says humans are a lot like hedgehogs in the cold. They want to get close to each other so that they can experience each other's body warmth. But as these hedgehogs get close and close and close, their prickly porcupine pricks start piercing each other. And so they realize they have to step away from each other. They can't get as close as they want to. Ouch. Ouchie.
Can you imagine having those little porcupine stickers all over you?
So that is the real dilemma at hand. You want that human intimacy, that closeness, but at the same time, these guys argue that closeness always demands pain from one another. So you kind of have to...
That's a negative way of looking at relationships, I gotta tell you.
These were two very cynical people.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of Freud, just so you know.
And is that because of the whole Oedipal issues?
I don't like his theories of vaginal orgasms, but that's another day and time.
Okay. Basically, I want to stay on this porcupine topic.
Are you talking about porcupines or hedgehogs?
It goes by both dilemma names.
Okay.
Hedgehogs, I think, are porcupines actually.
I don't know about that.
Oh, I think you're right. Hedgehogs are the soft ones.
Okay. All right, so we're going to fill in the blanks, but anytime you mention hedgehogs, you really meant porcupines. No,
it's called hedgehog or porcupine dilemma, according to Wikipedia.
Okay.
Okay, so anyway, the point is, humans are inherently lonely. We love relationships. Some people say that that's the most important thing in life. Me.
Well, I think relationships are super important.
And yet, all relationships. And yet, they seem to cause the biggest pain. Like whenever actually... This has come up before in therapy. All of this therapy sessions I've ever had, and most of the therapy sessions I've ever heard of, are related at the core. If you dig deep down, it's related to relationships.
Yeah.
With other humans.
Well, because what's causing you stress? It's a relationship.
Yeah.
But if you I get this question a lot too. It's like, is it better not to be around women because it's so hurtful?
Why just women? Anyone?
Well,
men experiencing men experiencing women.
99% of my audience is male.
The people listening are not 99%.
Okay, so all right, but the questions I typically get from males are, is it better not to get involved with women altogether because it is so painful?
And women might say the same thing.
And women obviously will think the exact same thing.
Okay, and that's the question. And then Freud would make the arguments to take you. It is important to get close to each other, but there needs to be a healthy distance so your porcupine spikes are not hitting each other.
Yeah, and I never realized that either. That it's very therapeutic for a relationship to spend time away from each other.
That's true, but also, I mean, I think everyone has a different, understanding of what it means to give each other distance.
Yeah, it could be emotional distance, it could be physical distance, it could be any kind of distance.
It could be, do we trust each other and fully? Do we share all our secrets with each other?
Do we share your fantasies with each other?
Yeah, I mean, this becomes the question. And for me, this relates to what I was talking about earlier, because when you're getting, that is kind of on my mind. It's not on my mind. It's on my unconscious mind, basically. I'm aware that these relationships can be very painful.
So you have a fear of intimacy is what you're saying?
Not a fear of intimacy. I think it's a healthy understanding of intimacy it could be a very dangerous thing. Mm-hmm. So it's not a fear.
Yeah, and a lot of it has to do with self-confidence, though.
Whether you can stand your ground no. Oh, so what do you mean by that?
What I mean by that is that if you have confidence that you get involved with someone and it's not going to be you that's breaking it up, it's going to be the other person. I mean, it's not going to be the other person that's breaking it up, it's going to be all in your control. I mean, if you can think that way.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Like
I'm saying that. That's what I'm saying. A lot of it has to do with confidence.
And I'm saying that actually is more frightening to me than the other way.
You may have a false sense of confidence?
No, that I would get in a relationship and break it off and then hurt the other person. That sounds way more painful than me getting broken up with.
Oh, and I think most people would have thought that you were worried about that you would get hurt.
No. If anything, I'm. But it's not a confidence. It's not a confidence like, oh, is she gonna like me, or it's more of a. In the end, it becomes self-confidence is when you can break up with someone and know, okay, this is super fucking painful, and yet I know it's the right decision. Yeah. And even though she might be really upset about this, or he might be very upset about this, it's still what needs to happen. That's real confidence.
Right.
It's not like, oh, or if this person's breaking up with me, this is really fucking painful. That's, it's what's meant to be, because clearly we both need to want this if it's going to work out.
Yeah. Is it better to have loved than lost and than never to loved at all?
And this is the question, Woot. This is it.
This is the question.
It's a dangerous little thing. So yeah.
So, but a lot of just, okay, so you were talking about two different things here. One, you're talking about the issue of like, well, if I get involved with someone and we break up, it may be painful. Another is, well, am I really in a good place to be involved with somebody? Is someone really going to want to be with me when I don't have money and focus on so much of my career and starting, a business, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, so I tied them together in my mind, thinking that I think that the financial issues are kind of a mask. That's basically my unconscious saying, I don't really want. That's like an excuse. Like, I don't want to get that intimate with this person for whatever reason. It might be just an excuse.
Now, I think like a lot of times you have to be in a really good place to be ready for any relationship. I just think you have to be in that good place, and it really is not as much of an excuse, because you've been at other times when you've been ready for a relationship. I think it's just there's certain times that you just aren't. And then of course you can always go into this, like me and Dee's, where neither of us were in a place that wanted a relationship, and it just turned out we met at the right time and we just couldn't stop talking to each other on the phone, and the next thing you know that we wanted a relationship. So you just never know. I mean, things can happen at the blink of an eye, but it's good that you're self-aware enough to know that maybe this is one of the reasons that you're not having a relationship right now, and that you can't think of a girl without thinking, well, I may break her heart, or she may not like me because I don't have a career, or
right. There's a lot of
stuff
shit.
Going on.
There's a lot of shit.
A lot of porcupine spikes out there.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Did you have anything else you wanted to chat about?
Well, for example, one of the guys wrote to me that saying that he's given up on women completely Why did he give up on women? Because he's all his life, and I think he's in his 40s. Every time he gets close to a woman, they find out that he's got a small dick, and they just run for the hills. And he's like, I'm just giving up. It's too painful for them to find out about my small penis and for them to break up with me because of it. It's amazing that he really has gone through this trauma so many times.
He was telling you about the times that this happened?
He's had, over the years, I've known him for a while. He's one of my patrons. And it's a sad story, and I feel for the guy.
What do you say to him?
I have nothing to say except, it sucks.
You're fucked?
Well,
No?
he's not fucked. No, I mean, I think it's just a very tough.
Here's what I would say to the guy. I think that everyone is different. We all want different things from relationships. Physical needs are just one aspect of this. So some people don't even want pleasure from a penis. They won't, like some women want pleasure from hands or mouth more.
Right.
And in all the other aspects, so sex, even
the act of intercourse is a small part of it.
That's such a small part. And everyone's different. So some women might be like, yeah, I need a big dick or an average dick in there.
Yeah.
But some women might be like, yeah. Maybe he still has amazing hands, or he still has an amazing mouth.
Well,
so,
your friend Nina Hart, they would tell you if she can get a girl off with a tiny little pinky finger, certainly anybody can get anybody off with any kind of dick.
Right. So that's my first point. It doesn't necessarily mean that your sex is going to be horrible. My second point is that sex is such a small factor for some people in relation to the entire relationship.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. I mean, there's so many, but the point is, I think this guy has been burned so many times.
I know.
And felt such rejection so many times.
But imagine,
he's just given up, and he feels like it's empowering, though, to him that he can now go ahead and not think about women and just enjoy his work and his life and giving to others.
Maybe.
That's what he just made a decision about. I mean,
but
it could also be the people he's attracting.
You remember we talked on the Too Horny for Religious Life? Mm-hmm. That guy went to a monastery for 4 years because he had given up on women. Mm-hmm. He was like, I just want to be out of this game. So it might work for some. It didn't work for that guy. But what I would say is act like a clown. The clown fails every single time he's on stage, and then he continues to get up and do it again.
I think that this guy is just, and I don't know if it'll stick to this, but I just think he has had it.
I know.
It's happened so many times to him, and it must be very humiliating. And nobody would throw a girl out of bed if she had tiny tits or a large vagina or any of these things.
No, but some women might say like, oh, that he really doesn't like my body type, or
So that's the extent of Cam's Corner?
So that's the extent of Cam's Corner.
Yeah, I mean, relationships are scary, and it's not like a straight, like, you look on Facebook, that's, I think, social media really gets everybody going here. You look on Facebook.
Gets everyone going.
You look on Instagram, everyone's looking like they're having the fucking perfect relationship, time of their life, but I know what's going on behind their closed doors. It's not all that great.
Your Instagram makes you look like your life is phenomenal.
Oh, my life is phenomenal. But little do they know what's going on behind closed doors. It's a roller coaster of things going on in my life. So don't think that beautiful little facade is really all that great. No, but it's everybody, especially around the holidays, people get so depressed.
We're past the holidays.
So the point I'm bringing up is that when it looks like everybody's having this easy, painless relationship, remember, it's a fucking rocky road. For everyone.
And then, all right. I was about to get into, then when do you know whether to break it off? But that's a whole nother episode. I don't even want to get into that.
Yeah, I mean, we're not even talking about breaking it up. We're talking about if you want to even dip your feet in the water.
Yeah.
Do you want to go there? I mean, there are certain times that you just don't have the emotional energy to do anything besides put 2 feet in front of each other.
Right.
And sometimes you're in a really nice place. So hey, things are going well in my career. Things are going well in other aspects of my life. It's time I can be relaxed enough to open myself up to another person.
It's amazing. I can have this conversation with you now where I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely not in a place where I can be in a relationship. And yet tomorrow I can wake up and be, oh, you know what? My cold went away. And I got a good night's sleep because the construction going on in the apartment above me stopped. The fucking construction that doesn't cease has stopped. And I could be like, yeah, now it's time.
I'm ready to get laid tonight.
I might not have a very stable job, but you know what? The girl, I can buy a drink for someone, and she might be turned on by the fact I'm a clown.
So I gotta say something. That earlier that you start having a marriage or relationship, it's easier. Because when I met your dad, I was 21 years old. When we got married, we were 23. Obviously, he didn't have a stable career. Obviously, I didn't either. Actually, I probably had more than he did. I was a school social worker making $18,000 a year, which was woohoo. My point is, we just said, who cares? I mean, we're both struggling, new, basic children, together. So you don't have these expectations that, we have to be wined and dined.
I'm not, but I'm 28.
That's the point. It was easier back then. You should have done it back then when you were 23.
The time is elapsed. Now the women want money.
Well, I think that unfortunately you get to this little biological clock time that people start realizing that raising kids is expensive. So then they start looking at, well, what's this guy going to help me out with? And that's what it is.
But what's unusual though is that in Los Angeles, people are not out. It's crazy. My friends from home in Chicago,
they're all married, having kids.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
In Los Angeles, I know very few people even dating.
Right.
Because it's just such a transient city where people come to pursue their dreams, to talk about sex with their mom.
Everybody does that.
Yeah, and so they don't care as much about necessarily having children. And some people say if you really want to make it in Hollywood, you can't really have children because you kind of have to focus on yourself all the time. I don't know how true that is, but some people say that. So I don't know. I'm 28 in Los Angeles time, but I don't know what that equates to in Chicago or anywhere else time.
Well, for men, it's much easier because you don't really have the same clock that women do. But that is why I think a lot of the guys, when you say what is the biggest problem that they find with women are they call women gold diggers, or they say women don't respect me, or women don't do this or that, and what they're saying is that women are putting a lot of pressure on them.
Really? That's your interpretation?
Yeah, I think that's what the interpretation is. And that's why a lot of the young guys go, I want to date an older woman. She doesn't need me for the money. She doesn't need me to have children. She doesn't need me for all these things. I just want to date someone older.
And are women in the wrong if they expect men to make money? First of all, I think that's such an antiquated idea, by the way. Because all of my friends that are women are also very much working full time and expect it. I don't think anyone intends to, I don't know. I think that's an antiquated idea.
I'm just going with what the guys are telling me, what the answers.
Yeah,
I'm not saying I agree with it or don't agree with it.
I think this is really geographic.
It could be a geographical thing. It also could just be, the area where people are working and what that means. I mean, in the whole, this goes back to the agriculture society, where you needed kids in order to tend the farm.
Maybe. I don't know. Interesting questions.
We're going off the deep end. We would like to hear from listeners and what they think about what is the problems. What are the problems here in relationships?
Email us at sextalkpodcast@gmail.com. You can call and leave us a voicemail at 323-472-4237. I love this episode, Mother.
I love it too.
It turned out to be a good one. I'm glad you pushed us to do it despite me feeling a sack of garbage.
Yeah, you're a little porcupine and so am I.
Oh. Also, for those interested in helping keep this show going, please support us on Patreon.
Yes.
As you know, as you might have guessed, I'm a
struggling artist. Would that be a call?
So if you want to improve my own intimate and sex life, please support us on Patreon.
Yeah, we want to get Karen laid. We can't do that unless he's got some money. Okay, he can't even take someone to McDonald's right now. He's worried where he's going to sleep tonight.
She's being facetious.
It's not that bad.
Don't worry.
Close. No, but the Patreon would certainly help. We need the support so that
it's mainly emotional support, saying yes, what you're doing is worthwhile.
Right.
What you're doing, we appreciate what you're doing, because people are donating $1, $3. Obviously, that's not gonna. That might support my first date with someone, but it's not something I can live off of. But it tells me, okay, these people actually really do care about what we're doing, so that's important.
And we do love our patrons very much.
All
anyway,
right.
Well.
Thank you to Hannah and Zach, whatever you go by.
And if you can't remember how to get to Patreon or whatever, just go to our website. It's right there.
Or show notes.
Or the show notes. But our website has the Patreon button there that they can use.
That's a good call.
Yeah. It's easy later on to go to.
Oh, and we have a new logo, so enjoy that.
Oh my God, we need to hear about how you like our
A
logo.
huge thank you to our logo artist, Mike. You are the fucking man.
Yeah, he's terrific, and you can find his links on Instagram where we're posting everything.
Thank you guys for listening.
And let me tell you about the birds and the bees and the flowers and the broke peoples.
I thought you were going to say porcupines. This is the one.
Let me tell you about the birds and the bees and the porcupines.
All right.
Well,
and the trees. All right. Bye.
Bye. You liked it.
Yeah.
Good.
Did you like it?
Yeah. I mean, it was one of the more serious ones, which I know you like. Didn't have as much humor in there as I would like, but I think it was